Hello and welcome to the Signmakers studio. I'm Lawrence from Greens to Signmakers, and this is where we answer your questions about everything you want to know about the sign making industry. I'm joined by Kingsley again, one of our project managers, and this week we're going to look at the first steps to take when you need a new sign. When you first meet a new customer, what's often the first step? What do you have to do?
Firstly, I like to get a good understanding of what they're doing, what it is that they do if it's not in plain sight.
We don't know everybody.
We don't know everybody. We don't know how everybody's business is. It might be that they've got a good brand name, but it doesn't actually say what they do, what they're selling, or if it's a product or a service. So that's first up. And then secondly, I guess it's understanding what they want to try and achieve, what budget they have in mind, because sometimes they might think, well, I like that, it's all singing and dancing, but the budget doesn't stretch that far. So I guess it's trying to understand what they're willing to spend and how far we can go with the spec.
Do you find there's a lot of difference between a one-off individual site and more the work we do, the 100-site rebrands?
Yes and no. I think with the one-off individual, we need to guide them a little bit more. What's best for them, what's best with the budget in mind. But then thinking about the big rollouts, you've still got to do that to start off with. You know, how many stores you're trying to achieve, within what time frame, how much money you got put aside for this.
For the unexpected.
Exactly. And then obviously for the rollouts, planning ahead so that if we're streamlining it, we're making like uniform shaped signs to to really get through production quickly.
It often sounds like rebranding 100 sites is a lot easier and you can't repeat, but actually there's a lot of work.
There's a lot of work,
as well.
But I guess it goes back to whether it's a small independent business with the first shot or it's a rollout, it's still the same starting point.
So a new customer's come along, they're moving into the world of sales, they've got their own little unit on the high street, they have a logo. It's often useful for website and things like that. It's not great for manufacturing. So there's things we have to do about that to make sure it's manufacturer ready. What are some of the pitfalls there might be about their logo?
Quite often it's we get sent logos that are not in an editable format that's ideal for production. It might be great for an Instagram page or like say a website or Facebook, but when it comes to manufacturing, it can be incredibly difficult, especially if they've used like tools like Canva. That's come up a few times, and it's like, I've got a logo. It's like, you've got a logo, we can't do anything with it because basically, to put in simple terms, it's made out of Lego bricks.
There's often then more costs involved, isn't there, to create them a brand ready article.
Quite often, because they've got a logo, they think, well, I don't want to pay you to be redrawing it. It's like, well, if you want us to make a sign that's not pixelated or if it's got more layers to it, you know, we need to cut it, then we need it in a vector format. So then we do need to redraw it.
So there are some unexpected costs in that aspect. We'd said about there's often additional costs as part of the project that they may not be aware of. One of those that often crops up is the need to survey the building before we even start the project.
Obviously, we need to know what size we're going to make signs. That's a big important one. But more importantly is what is the condition of what we're fixing to. If it's timber, is it rotten? Is it still stable? Asbestos that's been overlooked, you know, if it's an older building, an older warehouse.
It's often with the bigger clients when we're doing a big rollout of a 100 site, that kind of information is handed to us on a plate, and it's fantastic and easy to know. There's the asbestos report. If somebody's taking on a small little independent shop, it's that kind of thing we have to coach them through and really point out, isn't it? Because it's something we take very seriously, the safety.
Exactly. They've not got the big property teams that others have. So
through no fault of their own, they haven't got the experience.
I guess it's where we've gained from that and then passing it on to them and as a form of advice. So obviously, is access going to be an issue? Is it on a pavement? Are we going to need to look at visiting during quieter times? Is it going to have to be out of hours? Do we need a pavement license?
What about some of the wonderful old market towns around the country? So you think they're nice and quiet, but actually there's a whole host of other things that brings, isn't there?
Yeah, there is, exactly. I mean, even in some of the market towns, it could be that you've got the shop on the high street has got flats above it. You've got to be obviously respectful to any people that live close to the unit.
There's often restrictions about the type of signage you can have. If it is an old little market town, there'll be planning restrictions on that as well.
Yeah.
Which I think brings me on to the other one. You can't just go and shove up any old sign, can you?
No. Yeah, planning.
Although we're often asked.
Yeah. So planning.
Adverts, planning, application needs to be put in.
Quite a big issue on planning is the illumination. It's quite often where there's residential properties opposite a retail park, where then on the retail park they've only been granted permission to have the sign illuminated between certain hours.
Start looking at time clocks.
Yeah, time clocks.
Another person we may need to get approval from is landlords. Often the first shops for people might be in a small shopping centre, and it's great, they get a bit of support from the shopping centre, but we need to get approval from the landlord that they're happy with that type of sign, that display, that illumination. Yeah. We then have even further restrictions about when we can work, so we're not working dangerously near people, we're not working above doors, so we'll have to work out of hours.
I think some of the larger shopping centres require a permit to work. Might be that the unit that we're particularly working on closes at 8, but in with that shopping centre is leisure facilities.
Yeah, restaurants and all
later. So then you can't still start until they're shut, because that's when the mall's officially shut.
And we won't talk about airports just yet. We'll save that for another week. That's a whole nother topic. Planners are very keen on illumination as part of their application. We often have to state the number of candelas and how bright it's going to be. But what are the basic options for an illuminated sign?
So basic options, you usually got, starting with front lit. So obviously that's usually lighting shining back at the sign. Or you go with full backlit, which can be quite expensive because you're illuminating a large area.
Yeah, and that would be full acrylic panels, lasers, all that kind of stuff.
Or you do partially illuminated, so through either fret cutting of panels or multi-layer printing, blocking out areas of the sign so that you're emphasising others.
And what would be a good advantage of just illuminating part of it, say just the text?
Makes it more eye-catching, it's sharper.
Important part, a big decision, is the specification of the sign. The specification can change so drastically according to the cost. If you're wanting really top end, you could be hundreds, thousands of pounds per square metre. But it doesn't have to be. It can be very cost effective. Yeah. What's some of the cheap options you've supplied sim customers?
I guess you could start with just a simple printed banner.
Yeah.
Not even printed, you could just do vinyl banner.
Yeah, a few pounds a square metre.
Yeah, a couple of quid a square metre. Or it can just be as simple as a printed panel, printed rigid sheet.
Nice, cheap, cost effective, looks good. But
a lot of people go for it.
Yeah, doesn't blow the budget.
No, exactly. These are off-the-shelf items.
No.
Everything's got to be made bespoke. Before it's made, it's got to be drawn. We've got a hand to our production teams drawing. In an ideal world, I think we usually allow at least 10 working days.
Yeah, minimum for something basic. Yeah. Ideally, at least
some of the bigger projects that obviously increased lead time.
Yeah, when we're doing say these multiple sites, we'd often ask for, let's have a couple of months to get ahead, and we'll manufacture and stock, because they might want a grand opening and suddenly reveal 50 sites done in a week, in which case we'd manufacture ahead of the time. Yeah. I think for a new person coming in, it's, as you say, important to realise it's not sat on the shelf.
Yeah.
It does take time, and plan that into part of their schedule. A subject I know Kingsley's very up to speed on. He's worked his way up through the factory, did a lot of installation before he became a project manager, which is great, so very knowledgeable. But the important part is the installation and the access needed. What's some of the pitfalls to watch out for there?
Yeah, I guess it's got to be done safely. Is it within reach from steps, starting from the lower side, or is it a scaffold job?
More often than not.
Yeah, if it's high street, we'll get away with a little mobile tower. Or does it need to be an access machine? Is it in difficult to reach locations?
What kind of height would you need an access machine from?
4 meters, really. You don't really want to be lifting signs, dragging them up the side of a tower. It's quite often not really thought about like that, but
precisely. And there's obviously costs that go. The bigger the machine, the bigger the cost.
The bigger the machine, the bigger the costs.
After we've finished the installation, we've sent the bill in, all been paid, you might think that's it, we're done, we'll never be seen again. But actually, there's more to the story, isn't there?
Yeah.
Don't just walk away.
Quite often we get asked for operations and maintenance guides. Obviously, it's putting those together, advising the customer on how to maintain the sign, how to clean it, if it does need any maintenance, who to contact.
Yes, the maintenance side is an important part. It's often overlooked. It's something we advise on. The British Signographic Association put a fantastic document to get together which helps us explain it to the customer that while we provide a sign that is fit for purpose, and there for the longevity, it does need yearly inspections.
The liability, if the sign does come down, it's with the owner.
Particularly if they haven't got evidence that they've maintained it, looked after it and checked it. If it's 10 years old.
And nobody's touched it in 10 years.
It does need some work. So having gone through some of the things to look out for, some of the pitfalls, I think you'll see the process is very much the same whether you're 1 or 100 sites.
Yeah, I think as well, just asking the right questions at the right time saves a lot of time and money.
Pick that reputable sign maker. But yeah, the sign maker will hold your hand and make sure you get the product you need. And we don't mind if you've got any questions about anything we've discussed, please do reach out. We'll try and answer them for you.